Conquest Aerth science fantasy role-playing game. 10th rank fighting illusionist spells. Dissipate. Range 60m. O manipulation versus resilience. Spell expiry roll applies. This spell can be cast on characters up to and including 16th rank. It transforms the subject from corporeal through ethereal to the non-existent. You rapidly fade out of existence in d6 rounds. Each round after it is successfully cast, the victim gains +1 to armor bypass but loses 1p damage. This includes ballistic weaponry. Ethereal form. Range personal spell expiry roll applies. Rolled 1 round in advance. This spell gives the fighting illusionist the power to move through solid objects and have non-magical projectiles pass harmlessly through his/her intangible form. Whilst in this state, the caster cannot affect or be affected in any way by mundane weapons or extremes of heat or cold. An ethereal character is invisible, and therefore when fighting him/her, advisable only with magic or magical weapons, these penalties apply. -4 attack, -8 defense, 10/20/30 attack. Only certain forms of direct attack magic will work on a fighting illusionist in ethereal form. However, to cast a spell upon someone, you must first know they are present. Whilst this spell is in operation, +20 is added to stealth. If this spell wears off while the caster is within a solid object, he/she will be irrevocably dead. If the illusionist has enough magic points, he can cast ethereal form again if he feels its power waning. Unspeakable horror. Range touch fright attack of highest attribute versus rank permanent. For this spell to work, the practitioner must touch the subject in the round that it is cast. If this attack fails, the spell and its magic points are wasted. If the fighting illusionist does manage to make contact with his opponent, he is subject to a fright attack equivalent in strength to the highest attribute he has, current score. If this fright attack proves successful for the caster, the victim will become so filled with the horrors that the illusionist has created that he/she will writhe in grief and be unable to speak or act. The only way to restore a character who has had this spell performed on him/her is to employ the services of an overlord. Fool's Paradise. Range 60m. O manipulation versus resilience. Spell expiry roll applies. Fool's Paradise is a useful spell for bypassing sentries and officers of the law, even for performing blatantly illegal activities in the presence of authority. If the spell is successfully cast, the subject will be under the impression that all is well and that there is nothing amiss. For example, if a fighting illusionist wished to break a friend out of jail, any guard that Fool's Paradise was cast on would not notice the flashing lights, sounding alarms, and prisoners issuing through the security doors. The Fool's Paradise spell may be broken if the individual affected by it is wounded. Each attack a roll is made. The fighting illusionist must roll under O manipulation intellect of the victim on AD20. This roll is modified +1 in the victim's favor for every subsequent wound to remain visually innocent.